Welcome to your Nutrition Physicians podcast. Join Dr. Chadwick and Dr. Wanda as they debunk myths, share expert insights. Your health is our concern, naturally.
Hey, welcome to our first podcast, Your Nutrition Physicians, and we are here to serve all of you. So today's segment, we're going to be talking about stress and hormones.
Yes.
You want to talk about that today?
Definitely. Sounds good.
Okay, so let's talk about stress and hormones. So there's an issue with women that are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. They call us all the time. They send us on a chat messages that they're going through really, really bad menstrual periods, really bad pain and clots, and what should they do about it? Well, since we're acupuncture physicians and functional medicine doctors, in acupuncture Chinese medicine, it says that it is an abnormality for a woman to have blood clots and menstrual pain. Do you want to unpack that, Dr. Chadwick?
Yes. So women's hormones, when they're imbalanced, like my wife was saying, you're going to have symptoms. So we have to look at what a hormone is and how we can help to balance them. Hormones are made from fats, and hormones are messengers. So one of the biggest issues when it comes to irregularities or problems in a female hormone cycle is not getting the proper fats. You need a particular fat that's called GLA, gamma linolenic acid.
Yeah.
That's a very misunderstood omega-6 acid, but it's very, very crucial for regulating the hormone system. Why? Because you make your hormones from GLA. So if you don't have enough GLA, guess what? You're not going to have healthy hormones. You're going to get all the symptoms we're talking about. So GLA can actually be purchased in a capsule form. The best sources of GLA include borage oil, black currant seed oil, and evening primrose oil.
Yes,
right?
those are fantastic.
So we have a combination of those, and those are phenomenal for helping to support the hormonal system.
So that's good for women between 20, 30s, and 40s, right?
Yeah.
So now let's get into another age group. Let's do women in my age group, women 50 and above.
Right.
By 50 and above, most of us are either perimenopausal, if you're healthy. If you go into perimenopause in your 30s and early 40s, that's a nutritional deficiency, ladies. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. But in the 50s and above, we go through hot flashes and night sweats and moodiness, and nobody can really talk to us because we'll snap at them. So what can we do about that?
Okay, so that is a different time when a woman gets older is when her hormone levels are dropping. And it's supposed to happen. They're supposed to go down very slowly. But some women have a very steep drop in them, and you mentioned those symptoms that come along with that. So that has to do with estrogen levels and progesterone levels dropping. And there are different factors that are involved in that. One of the biggest things, unfortunately, is being overweight. When a female is overweight, she's going to make her body's going to not use insulin that well. We call it insulin resistance. So if you're listening out there and you have 5 pounds extra, 10 pounds or more extra on your body's insulin resistant. And if it's insulin resistant, the insulin will block your female hormones from working correctly, so you'll have more severe symptoms of menopause. So we need to work with balancing the fats in the body, helping to support that. But let's say besides that, if you're having some very severe symptoms, there is some phenomenal herbal formulas that can still help you regardless if you're overweight or not. And they're based on Chinese medicine.
That's right.
And they help to balance the body's nervous system and hormonal system. One of the most famous formulas is a Chinese formula called Da Bu Yin Wan. Da Bu Yin Wan. DABUYINWAN. Da Bu Yin Wan is a phenomenal formula for hot flashes and night sweats. It supports the female hormone system, and the hormones work by signaling cells. So when you have a deficiency of estrogen and progesterone, those signals don't get to the cell can't do its job properly, so we get symptoms. Dabu Yinwan has the ability to kind of help to stimulate the receptor, the parking space for the hormone, but it's not a hormone. So Dabu Yinwan does not contain any hormones, but it helps to support a female hormone system.
So that brought up so many questions. So the GLA that you mentioned before,
Right.
can they take the GLA with the Chinese formula?
Sure, of course.
Women
Oh,
50 and
definitely.
yeah.
Mhm.
So that's one question. And then bioidentical hormones.
Mm.
So many women are now going to get bioidentical
Sure.
hormones,
Yeah.
which us as natural doctors, we think that that's a big no-no. That's very, very dangerous. That can lead to chronic diseases.
Right.
So what's your take on that?
So it is true, right, that as a woman gets older, she's gonna her levels of her progesterone and estrogen will drop. And a man, he's not, outside of that. In other words, his testosterone levels will drop. That happens. But again, when it drops too quickly, we get into those symptoms we mentioned. So modern medicine has said, okay, let's replace those hormones with synthetic ones, artificially made in a laboratory. So first of all, bioidentical hormones are not natural. The
Mm-hmm.
only natural hormone is the
That's
hormone your
right.
body makes, and women and men make them inside of our bodies with the GLA and with good fats, right, as a building block. So we need to understand that there's a difference. And even before the bioidentical hormones, women were using and doctors were prescribing synthetic hormones mainly from horses' urine, believe it or not. It's called, the first one was called Premarin, one of the first ones.
Marin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Premarin, pregnant mare's urine. So they
Yeah.
take the urine from a pregnant
Yeah.
horse and give it to a woman because why? That pregnant urine had a lot of hormones in it. But the difference is a horse has about 50 estrogens and a human female has only 3. So there was some big problems with using these Premarin, and there was heart attacks, there was blood clots, there was cancers, a lot of symptoms, side effects. They actually stopped using them. So then it came out with the bioidentical ones. So the bioidentical ones are supposed to mimic the female hormones because they're bioidentical. They're just like what a female would make. But the problem is a female's hormones are made in your ovaries, and when you get older, your adrenal glands take over and make them. But you make them, and you're pumping them out 5 to 10 times every day. So if you're taking a synthetic pill or a patch or a cream or a suppository or pellets of bioidentical hormones, you're not mimicking the female body. So what happens is when you take, for example, a pill, you're going to get a very rapid rise in that hormone, estrogen or progesterone or testosterone, whatever it is, and then it's going to drop down in a little while later. That is not the way the human body works. So what's happening is you're getting this overstimulation of the hormones. One of the functions of these hormones is to repair cells and to cause them to divide. But when we have an excess amount of hormones from a synthetic source, the cells start to divide unnaturally. Unnatural cell replication, we have a word for that. It's not a very good word. It's a word, it's
Starts with a
cancer.
C.
Yes, it
Start.
starts with a C. It's cancer. So you got to be very careful with that. And there's arguments both ways that bioidentical hormones can be safe and protective. But the facts are the way the human body works, we have not, we are not able to mimic that exactly. So you put yourself at greater risks for problems when you do these bioidentical hormones. Now, we don't want people to suffer. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't want you to suffer.
That's
We
right.
want you to be healthy, right? That's why we studied medicine, natural medicine,
That's
because
right.
there are answers and there are alternatives to bioidentical hormones that are much safer, that are herbal based. And a lot of times, when we correct the person's nutritional deficiencies and get rid of their toxicities, their hormone levels can become back into balance. But we do have specific herbal formulas that can help to support the hormonal system.
So you brought up something like you're saying, so you're giving out so much information. Let's talk about the adrenal glands because you
Mhm.
said it affects the adrenal glands.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we get stressed out adrenal glands,
Mhm.
now we have stress caused by the bad hormones, the hormones being out of balance.
Right.
So now we not only have hormonal imbalance, but now we're stressed out. Our adrenal glands are not reacting appropriately
Right.
and bringing on a whole bunch of other symptoms.
Right.
So let's address that.
So the way that it's supposed to work, as a woman gets older and she goes through menopause, her ovaries will naturally reduce estrogen production because she no longer has any eggs. That's normal. And then progesterone levels come from the corpus luteum, so you're going to get less progesterone. That's normal. So the idea is that when you have a drop in that, what happens is the adrenal glands actually take over during menopause. So in a healthy situation, a woman who goes through menopause and her ovaries reduce the estrogens and progesterone, right? Her adrenal glands will kick in and make estrogens and progesterone. But like you said, when there's a lot of stress in the body, emotional stress, psychological stress, job stress, work stress, traumas, all these things will affect sleep stress. All these things will stress the adrenal glands. So you typically pump out a lot of cortisol or a lot of adrenaline, which are your stress hormones. And what happens is they get in the way of your female hormones from working correctly. So then you get into the more symptomatic problem. So that's where stress relates to the hormone deficiencies.
There's so much information that we can give people. You know, we're going to invite you all. Every month, we have a free masterclass. We have over 30 years of experience in the natural medicine field.
Yes.
We are diplomats in herbology. We are experts in food and nutrition. And every month, we give a free masterclass, and you're all invited to it. This month in April, it's going to be Tuesday, April 22, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. So we are going to be talking about the vicious cycle between stress and hormone imbalances, which is both for men and women.
Yes.
We didn't address the men.
No.
So let's address the men. So we invite you all to come. We're going to be dishing out and just unpacking how stress and hormone works together, even more deeper at a deeper level, a deeper dive than what we did here today.
Yes.
Let's just end it by men. We're talking about men's hormonal imbalance that can lead to prostate problems, premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction. So you go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah. So
if you like to, that is.
Yeah. So there, obviously, women, their issues kind of go along with the amount of eggs they have in their body, and there's a finite amount of eggs a woman is born with, and once she reaches menopause, she has no more eggs. And a man with the testosterone, what typically happens if they're having symptoms, one of the biggest reasons that the testosterone level goes down precipitously or very quickly is because they're overweight. So when a man is overweight, he actually makes more estrogen from his fat cells. So he becomes more estrogen dominant. He gets what's called male breast, you know, and there are a lot of symptoms that go along with that, being tired and fatigued and no drive in a man. Their sex drive goes really far down. And yes, it could be because the testosterone is going down, but it also could be because the estrogen levels are going up. So we want to test them to see where they are. But that also affects a prostate gland in a man, and a prostate is designed to be able to support ejaculation and sperm. So we need a healthy prostate. But what happens is, because of inflammation, because of the excess wrong fats in the body and poor food choices, you get these swellings of the prostate, which equal to getting up at night to use the bathroom, or frequent urination of daytime, or dribbling urination. Sexual dysfunction can be caused by the prostate gland being enlarged because of all the stimulation from the extra estrogen. And so there are ways of dealing with that. So a man may take bioidentical hormone therapy. He may be getting testosterone shots, or may be taking pills or patches, or there's pellets you can get put under the skin. But again, just like with the women, you're barking down the wrong street. You may feel good initially, and a woman too may feel good initially with hormones, but over time, a year and a half, 2 years later, you start to get into problems with these excessive hormones that can lead to more severe issues. So there are much better ways of helping. So one of the best things a man can do for his testosterone levels is to make sure he has adequate zinc levels, because zinc is crucial for the conversion of testosterone to its metabolites. Zinc is crucial for a healthy functioning prostate gland. Zinc is crucial for sperm production. So zinc is a very crucial as a mineral for a man.
Okay, that's a really good tip. We just want to unpack things for you and give you a lot of information. So we again invite you to join us on Tuesday, April 22, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. Go to our bio on Instagram, and we are on YouTube. We have hundreds of videos on YouTube, and you can find us easily. It's Your Nutrition Physicians with an S, because there's two of them. Your Nutrition Physicians. Find us on YouTube, and we'll see you on Tuesday, April 22nd. Enjoy, and God bless.
God bless you.